Good morning, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Stone, and this is your grammar lesson for the week. We will be having a quiz on Friday, and it's going to be over the two chapters of 13 and 14. I squished them together because both of the chapters are over present tense verbs, and you've had verbs in the past, and so present tense is fairly easy, and so it shouldn't be difficult for you to cover two chapters this week. So let's go ahead and get started. It says the tense of a verb tells when an action happens. The action can happen in the present, past, or future. We're only going to do present this week. In the next couple of weeks, we're going to be tackling past and future. So it says a verb in the present tense tells about an action that happens now or happens often. Our uncle drives a fire truck. Fire trucks rush to a fire. Those are both a happening. They happen often or they're happening right now. So the present tense verb must agree with the subject of the sentence. The subject and the verb must both be singular or plural. All right, so if you have a singular subject, then you have a singular verb. If you have a plural subject, then you will have a plural verb. When the subject is a singular noun or he, she, or it, those are pronouns, add s to the verb. Now that sounds like we're telling you something backwards, but we're not. Okay? That when you add an s to a verb, it makes it singular. All right? So a fire spreads quickly in a house. The subject is fire. That is singular. There's one fire. So in order to make the verb agree, you have to say spreads. All right? The next one says it leaps. It is the subject. It is a pronoun. It is, in this case, a singular pronoun. And so you have to put leaps. All right. A lot of this just, it's what it sounds right. But you always need to know the rules in case you get to the point where you're like, I'm not sure if that sounds right or wrong. If you know the rules, then you can go back and rely on the rules. But a lot of these you're going to be able to tell just by the way it sounds. If it sounds right, then it probably is right. When the subject is a plural noun or I, we, you, or they, those are pronouns, do not add s to the verb, such as firefighters save lives. Firefighters is plural. Save is plural. Firefighters save lives. The next one says they protect property too. They is a plural pronoun in this case. So you're not going to add an S. They protect. They protects just doesn't sound right. So they protect is what you need to put. Okay, let's look at your workbook and look at practice set A. It says choose a verb in parentheses that agrees with the subject, then write the verb on the line. Okay, this is where you're going to need your red color pencil. I want you to do this in red because we're going to go through finding the subject of the sentence, looking at the subject, determining if it's singular or plural, and then that will help you figure out the verb. And that's just in case you cannot tell which one you're supposed to be using. So let's take a look at the very first one. It says a loud siren blank in the night. Okay, your choices are whale or whales. Okay, if we look, we know that the word siren is your subject. It is a singular subject, so that means our verb needs to be singular. Now you got to think backwards in your head. Remember the rule. If it's a singular verb, you're going to add an S, and so it's going to be whales. Now, if I didn't make you stop and do that rule, it still sounds correct. A loud siren wails in the night. Okay? A loud siren wail in the night does not sound correct. All right, so a lot of these are just going to be which one sounds correct, but if I don't know which one sounds correct, then I can rely back on the rule. Okay, let's look at number 2. Number 2 says 2 fire trucks blank down our block. Okay, trucks is the subject. It is plural. So if it's a plural subject, we don't add an S to the verb. And so it is going to be roar. the two fire trucks roar down our blocks. Two fire trucks roars down our track does not sound correct. So we're relying on the rule. Now what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and I want you to finish 3 through 10 right now. And what I want you to do is I want you to highlight the subjects with your red colored pencil, and you can, instead of switching back and forth, if you want to write your answer in red, I'm fine with that. But I'm going to know if you did this lesson with me is if those subjects are highlighted. So you highlight the subject, then you find your verb. So go ahead and do 3 through 10 and come back when you are ready. Okay, now that you are back, let's look at your answers. On number 3, you should have highlighted I and written the word spot. Okay, I spot the flames in a building down the street. Number 4, you should have highlighted captain. Okay, fire captain. Fire is an adjective, it's a descriptive word, it's not a noun. So it's captain gives orders. Number 8, 2 women, okay, connect. 2 is an adjective, women is the subject, it's a plural subject, so you're going to use a plural verb and not add an S, all right, and it should be connect. But 2 women connects to a hose, connects a hose. Does not sound right, okay, so it should be connect. Number 6, they aim the water-filled hose at the fire. Number 7, other firefighters should be in red, the word firefighters. Break the front door. Number 8, they should be in red, and you should have the word enter. Number 9, the people inside shout to the firefighters. And the last one, you should have we in red and hope for the best. So that should have been fairly easy for you. Hopefully, you didn't have too much trouble finding the subject of the sentence because we've already covered that. But that one should be fairly easy. Okay, now what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and flip over and find lesson 14 in your workbook. And this is going to be more over the same thing. It's going to be more present tense verbs. It's just going to talk about the spelling of things. And like I said, spelling does count on this because they give us specific rules for spelling. So let's look at lesson 14. It should just be a couple of pages over. Shouldn't have a problem finding it. And it says a verb in the present tense must agree with the subject of the sentence. That we just did last lesson. Both the subject and the verb must be either singular or plural. Follow these rules to make present tense verbs agree with the subject. Okay, this one is basically going to be over the spelling. The last one kind of told you which one you use. Now we're going to make sure that you know how to spell it. And this one you shouldn't have too many problems with because these are rules that you've been using for a very long time. It says for verbs that end in SS, CH, SH, ZZ, or X, add ES when the subject is a singular noun or he, she, or it. You know, remember those are pronouns. So if you have the word press, in order to make it plural, you're going to add ES. All right. So it says Jackie presses a seed into the soil. She watches the seed grow. Watches ends with a CH, so you're going to add an ES to make it plural, or to make is going to be actually a singular verb, but you're going to add an ES when you spell it. I know it seems crazy and backwards, but welcome to the English language. The next one says, do not add ES when the subject is a plural noun or I, we, or they. It says the students press seeds into the soil. They watch the seeds grow. Okay, then it says a verb, for verbs that end in a consonant and a Y, okay, we've gone over this rule before. It says change the Y to an I and add ES when the subject is a singular noun or he, she, or it. So fly, you're going to drop the Y, change it to an I, and add ES. And then the same way with the word hurries. Hurry will become HURR, drop the Y, add an I, add ES. So Robin flies to the oak tree and it hurries to its nest. Like I said, these are what sound correct. You just have to know how to spell them. It says do not change the Y or add or to Y to an I or add ES when the subject is plural noun. Okay, these robins flies to the oak trees does not sound correct. So robins fly. Okay, they hurries to their nest does not sound correct. So it should be just they hurry. All right, so go ahead and flip over, or you're probably right there, to practice section A, and you're going to be doing the exact same thing. You're going to be highlighting the subject of the sentence in red, and then you're going to choose the best verb that goes with it. And I want you, they were really, really, really nice to you, and they went ahead and spelled it out to the side, so you don't have to guess how to spell it, but you are going to have to know how to spell them for your test. So it's a good thing to practice. So let's look at number 1. It says the students, and my choices are discuss or discusses. The students is plural, so I need a plural verb, which I know doesn't make sense. That is, you don't add the ES. So, but it just sounds right. The students discuss the signs of spring. All right. See how I highlighted students in red, then I put the verb on the line. Okay, let's do number 2 together, and then I'm going to let you go again. Number 2, my nose itches from the pollen in the air. So you should have nose in red and then itches on the blank. So go ahead and do number 3 through 10 by yourself, and then when you're ready, we'll come back and we'll check. Okay, now that you're back, we're going to go through this kind of quickly because I'm almost out of time. But you should have birds in red, hatch. Number 4, geese is your subject. Geese fly. Okay, geese is plural in this case. Okay, it doesn't say, if it was singular, it would be goose. So geese is plural. Geese fly. Number 5, we should be in red, watch. Number 6, this one's tricky, conditioner. Air is telling me what kind of conditioner it is. So air is an adjective. It's not part of the subject. Air, so it should be conditioner in red, buzzes. Number 7, same with this one. It's not pet owners, it's just owners, brush. Number 8 is easy. Mom is your subject. What does mom do? Mom searches. Number 9, pretty easy. Let's find the subject. Fans hurry to the baseball games. And the last one is worker patch. The worker, oh, wait a minute, that one's wrong, doesn't it? Wait a minute, listen, is that one wrong? That one's wrong. That one's wrong. Okay, it says the worker patch the potholes in the road. That shouldn't be patch. It should be what? Patches. So you can put a great big X next to that one because Mrs. Stone got that one wrong on the slides. So it should be patches. All right, remember that you're going to have a quiz over this on Friday, but also remember this is not a difficult thing to get through. It's just what sounds correct. Most of the time, you can pick out which one sounds correctly, and then that's going to be the correct answer. If you can't figure out which one is correct, that's when you go back to the rule and you figure it out from using the rule. All right? So I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you at school tomorrow.